Welcome in, everybody. We are here on Speed Gaming today. We are going to be going live here in just one moment. We are looking forward to a fantastic race coming up here for you all. We have a best of three coming in with t0zzle versus DisasterKatti. This is a best of three. This is going to be Super Mario Brothers 3 Randomizer, and we're going to be getting started here in just one moment. We're getting the racers all set up to go. They will be on a 5-minute delay, so we are going to be getting that set up here, making sure that everybody's comfortable with where we are, and we will be going live here in just one moment. So racers, get ready. We're going to have ourselves a really good time. All right, and they are off. So we will go ahead and get this thing set up, start talking through what we're going to be looking at here, and we will be getting the action started just as quickly as possible. I will be joined on desk here in just a moment with DLP, who is still making his way into our studio. He was off getting the gatekeeping started and making sure that our runners are set and ready to go. Definitely something we appreciate, and we'll be inviting him in here in just one moment. So get your guesses into chat. We have just a couple minutes here before we get started. If you're new here, we'd like to welcome you specifically, as well as everybody else here, but I'd like to welcome you with something that is pertinent to what we're going to be doing here. We have a couple of little mini games as we go through the SMB3 Randomizer. And I'll clarify kind of a little bit what that means here in just one moment. But basically, what that means is that we have our runners are going to be going through a randomized version of Super Mario Brothers 3. The only thing that we know for sure is that Bowser's Castle is going to be at the very, very, very end of it. That is going to be the last level, but up until then, worlds 1 through 7 are all going to be up for grabs. And basically, that's it. Like everything else is going to be randomized. Where things are, where enemies are, where the different levels are. That's all going to be things that we have to figure out. So that's going to be something to look at. And right before our runners get going here in just a couple minutes, they'll start to appear on the screen. Get your guesses into chat. What worlds do you think we're going to see first? If you want to do the order, go right ahead. If not, we've got worlds 1 through 7. So get a guess in. What do you think? All right, I'm going to go ahead and get my guess in here, and I'm going to say World 6. I think we need to go to the land of snow first, get some ice in the veins. Let's get this thing started. As I said before, this is a best of three. So race to two is what we're looking for. Two wins, and you take it. Between these two runners, I mean, it definitely is showing where we are in terms of racing as a community. And I think that's one thing that's always been exciting for me, as Human Mustard did point out in the chat. I'm back. Had a few things happen, including our second child was born this summer. So that's kind of taken up a little bit of my time here, but it certainly is good to be back. But it really is exciting for me to come back every time and see really just the way that the runners are coming around and how much better they're getting overall. And I think that's really going to be a testament here for both t0zzle and DisasterKatti, two very gifted runners that are fantastic. And it's going to be really exciting to see them come in. And yeah, I'll look into the game audio, see what's going on here.
Second child, huh? Well, congrats, Mazel Tov. Sounds good
I
for you.
appreciate it. Some days I have to remember that.
I bet. But yeah, it looks like we got a pretty good matchup here. In some of these races, a lot of times, there's a fast runner and, a death might not really matter. But in this matchup, I think it's going to come down to who can keep their cool the most and take the unnecessary deaths the least. I think we got a pretty even matchup as far as skill set. I think Caddy plays a little faster with some P speed, but sometimes that can get them into a little bit of trouble and they get on tilt. t0zzle's just got to focus on not taking the unintentional deaths, and I think we're in for a pretty good matchup here.
Absolutely. And there's something you said there that I really want to capitalize on. The best way to get through a level is P speed. Sure, we all know that. The second best is to get through the level. Because ultimately, if you take a death on a level, that is going to be the biggest time sink. And you're absolutely right. Even if as players, sometimes we get in our heads of, oh shoot, now I'm behind, now I'm losing, no matter how many good things we've done. So that's definitely a tilt they're going to have to keep in check. But ultimately, it's get through the level. Even if it's not perfect, pristine, we see some of these players. I watch DLP all the time, and he just flies through these levels. But the biggest drawback is as soon as we get a death, I mean that's immediately a time loss, and especially in some of these longer levels like 7-5, keep yourself alive, keep going through it, and you'll be okay. And I think that's definitely a secret to success for either of these runners, and we'll see how well they do with that.
Yep, absolutely. If you're newer to the rando, that's the easiest way to shave time off, is not go quite as fast and just focus on not making mistakes. So yeah, we'll. I'm gonna guess World 7. By the way, RWO until it happens.
I love it. We have a question in the chat about who will win, and I can honestly and confidently say it's the person who beats Bowser first. Now, if you're looking for more specifics than that, I'll have to let you know here in about an hour, but we'll address that later.
Yep, whoever finishes first will win.
Looks like you are right off the bat. We have World 7.
Nice, RWO alive. See if we can get somebody to fix the 4-player layout here. Be right back.
I'm going to be making sure we get our runners in sync, so it's a little bit easier to tell who's in the lead. Let's try that. We are experiencing some technical difficulties, but we are certainly trying to get those resolved as quickly as we can. So we thank you for bearing with us. We will get these all figured out here in just one moment. The Speedgaming crew is absolutely outstanding. We really appreciate them and their time. Always putting on just fantastic tournaments, always doing a really, really, really good job for us. So thank you. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you, and we'll come back to that. We do have a 4-player layout. Do not fret. This is a one-on-one t0zzle versus DisasterKatti, so we will just be focused on those, and we'll see if we can get it into a 2-person layout here momentarily to try to help with that. And it looks like t0zzle with a death there on the little piranha plants that really just defy gravity, logic, and everything else. If you pause, they stop. It's weird, or they keep going. I guess it's weird. So definitely a trying World 7 for our 2 runners here. Personally, I love to see it. As many of you who have watched for a long time may know, I am known more or less as having some really terrifying siege roll, and so far this is looking like one of them. So, benefit to you, the viewer, is that we are going to be here for a while. Unfortunately for our runners, this can get really tilting really quick, but you know that's just part of the game. So if you're going to be here, let's play.
Yep, in my experience, Growlwolf rolls worse seeds than Sama, Teaks, all the nasty rollers, in my opinion. It's been a while, so we'll see if he's still got it, but looking forward to seeing what the seed holds here.
Absolutely, and I'm being told in chat there is one of us is too quiet, the other one is good. So I'm trying to figure out if I'm the one that's too quiet. I'm Growlwolf right now, and I've got DLP who was just talking about the different roles and stuff.
Test 1 2, test 1 2. Katti using really fortunate to have a tail there. This is the best power up to have on World 6. You get to fly over the map, saves about 10 seconds. It's free. t0zzle showing off the swagger with the statue straps. And Katti's going to be first out at right about 4 minutes.
Alright, we have the screen fixed, we have the timers fixed, and hopefully we have a Growlwolf fixed. Ahora en español, oprima el A. For Spanish, please press A. But ultimately, we are going to be moving on to the next world. And so far, we have a Tanuki suit. We'll see if t0zzle is able to hold on to that.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Keep it alive.
Hey.
Let's do this. Looks like we got a fort right off the bat. Forced to play. Path of least resistance. Katti's just going to use the tail and float over all the enemies here. Gets a little ding, but not necessarily a bad thing. Now they can move a little faster without the tail.
Absolutely, and seeing that little boot jump there was fantastic. But having a tail here is not a bad thing. I know everybody sees like the tasks and stuff like that, where they do the tool assisted runs, and honestly, that is such a hard one to try to get P-speed on. Him having a tail on that, perfectly good. I like the look there. Being able to use that to the advantage is great, and you're able to get through that fortress no problem. I love it.
Katti taking the bottom route here in 4-1. Can't blame him. Top route is a little trolly with the enemy set. Your movement has to be really good. But they were able to go to the bottom, get a power up. Not going to see a bro here. So if t0zzle goes to top route, that might be a slight time save. This 6 is looking like it's going to be pretty long. However, they're fortunate enough to get 2 forts that are right in their path anyway, so there's not going to be any backtracking really. And then I think this is 4-2 or 4-3. Really terrible fire enemy set typically in the beginning.
It is, and I know we have Randomizer on here, but it always seems like we get those fire chomps and fire snakes right out the gate on this. And because of a lot of the technical dependencies really that we have on here, we've got a really powerful engine running a very old game. So there are times where the memory is still a little bit of an awkward topic, but just the way that Fred and Makobra and a lot of these guys have come in and really manipulated and worked this game is fantastic. It's amazing seeing what they've done.
Well, I'm glad you're here to explain all that, because that might as well be hieroglyphics to me.
That is okay. That is part of who I am and what I do. I am a nerd for all things tech, and I get it. I enjoy stuff like that. But we now have t0zzle back in World 6, so that is exciting to see. Hopefully, t0zzle can make a little bit of a headway here and gain some of that time back.
Yep, that's the second hand stage we've seen, by the way, and it was an anchor, which I'm not sure if either of the players used an anchor yet. So it could be any item except for a hammer. Cloud is really really what you're hoping for, or a hammer suit at this point.
Yeah, those are definitely some top tier items. The hammer, we haven't seen World 3 yet, so that is like #1 place where I always go to. World 2, World 3, even World 4 has some play where you could use that hammer, and that's always really good. Are hammers going to break locks for us here, DLP?
They are not. These are bracket flags, so they're only going to break rocks. So World 6, which is out, 3, but you need 2, and then World 2 and World 4 are the other places that you only need 1. Interesting choice by Katti to not go for the item here. I think it's early enough in the seed that it warrants checking what it is. You don't really want to give your opponent Cloud or a hammer some sort of huge advantage early, and Katti going for some early P speed and World 7 airship, loses it. It is possible to go the whole length of the ship with P speed and not taking damage. It's a little more difficult than the second half, but definitely doable.
Absolutely incredible. Seeing some of the slow motion plays that are now becoming speedrun has been incredible, and that's something we don't see in the original game, but it's just fantastic.
t0zzle making a calculated decision here. She beat the 2 forts in the beginning and knows that those will stay beaten, didn't have any lives, so decided to take the quick death, and is only going to lose about 10 seconds and get more lives back, so you don't want to game over further down the line here. And the anchor is a Tanuki suit.
Yeah, I think that's where we saw it previously. We got Ratboy in chat who knew that as well. So a lot to pay attention here, but good catch, chat on that. And I am talking more to see if this is actually helping and if I've increased the volume at all or if it's still really bad. So if you let me know, I appreciate it. But I do like that decision from t0zzle to go ahead and exit out of a level quickly. Because it's one of those, it's a short-term gain, long-term loss. Yeah, we've got DisasterKatti the world ahead at this point, but we still have World 8. We still have some item discrepancies that could go in t0zzle's favor. So, there's a lot to play in this game. We can't just say DisasterKatti's the winner yet, because that obviously is not the case. We've got a lot of game to go.
Yeah. Alright, we get it, chat. It's a little low. Moving on. I didn't really see Katti play these bros, and looks like t0zzle's going to be forced to play one. She's going to get a star, which is... on the surface, it seems like not a great item. However, it's very useful in forts and against other bros, and it looks like she's going to try to play the other one. Katti finds 8-1 level I never really want to see, because of this hot foot right there. That's always there, but wow, really good job avoiding that.
Absolutely fantastic. And t0zzle with a P-Wing on the bro that she just played. So definitely excited to see that as well. That's a pretty easy way to get through some of them, like even World 7-1, the Fortress in 7-1, Fort Knox as it's more commonly known as. All really good places to use that. So, any item is usually a pretty good idea here. Alright,
Yep. Go ahead.
I'm gonna need just a little bit of help here. I did just turn up my mic and I turned down DisasterKatti, so let me know if that's helping at all. If not, I'll continue to flounder behind the scenes.
You can just shout the whole match.
Do you play Mario?
Yeah, there you go.
I've got some kids that may be trying to go to sleep here soon, so I get myself in trouble if I do something like that.
Yeah, fair enough. Katti, real fortunate again with a good power up going into 6F2, able to save a little time flying under. t0zzle is going to go for the item, so we will see what Katti missed here.
Yeah, I do love this idea. I saw at one point, I think it was Teeks and Human Mustard had made
Ugh.
a decision where one person was going to play all items, like play as many items as they could. The other was just going to go through as quickly as possible and try not to do anything. And they ended up being right about the same amount of time going into the end. And it was really interesting to see because even though you go for items, it doesn't necessarily mean you're losing time. Those items, obviously a frog suit, not really going to be something that you can work with. To me, it's a mushroom in disguise. But for even just having the items, knowing that they're there, you can sometimes also boost the confidence and just know, hey, I've got an option in case something happens. So it's still a win.
Yep, not exactly what you want to see unless you're Human Mustard trying to swag kill Bowser at the end, which we've seen him do many, many times.
But for other players like me who aren't swaggy enough to do that, I usually try to avoid those.
Ribbit.
Alrighty, against my better judgment, I have turned my mic up all the way. Let me know if that's any better there, chat. We now have tanks on the side of Caddy, and we've got t0zzle now making her way into World 3, which is World 3. Unfortunately, and I think we did this before, the World 3 has destroyed the reverse world order, so we'll have to try that again here soon. But also interestingly, I don't believe we have... Okay, did not change anything. Wow, okay. Alright, I'm going to see if maybe this helps and try something a little different here. Okay, that's very curious. So I am going to be doing this a little bit differently. I'm actually using the microphone on my computer now. So I apologize for any background noise. I have a push to talk on. Hopefully that helps. If not, forgive me. I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm doing my best here. Oh, could still be a little higher. Okay, well, I could just talk louder at this point. I'm good at this one. Better. Okay, I am happy to hear that. I'm very happy to hear that. I will just do my best to talk loudly at my computer and yell at it when things happen. So now we have DisasterKatti in World 4. Again, a vanilla world that we have here. That is interesting to see. So we do have 1, 2, and 5 left. 5 still possibly a little bit of a concern. We have the 2 sides, and if you don't have proper items like a cloud, or even if you have a fortress, you have to basically play it on the bottom here. Because if you don't play it and it comes back to haunt you, that is a huge time waste. You have to go back down, you have to go back up, so we might see a little bit different. And I like that IGNY. It's not yelling, it's commentating with authority. I am just excited, and you should be excited too, because we're here playing SMB3, not us, them. But we are watching SMB3 Randomizer, which is one of my favorite things. So I'm glad you're here with me. I'm here with DLP. We're here, we're having a good time, and commentary will be what it is. And it looks like t0zzle just found out the difficult news that even though a fortress has been played, or no, I don't know if t0zzle's played a fortress or not, but the fact that there are 2 fortresses there means we're playing eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Looks like t0zzle's going to take the pick of doing the tanks first. I think that's a good option. And then, of course, we'll have to look at the other one. But t0zzle knows the way to Windy. It'll be here just a moment, and it looks like Larry, being a bit of a jerk, is taking out DisasterKatti, but that is going to be at the end of it for Disaster. And now we go into world number 5, which could be 5, 1, or 2. So if you want to get your guesses in chat, now's the time. And with that, we did build a bridge, so that looks like we're going to have to play yet another fortress. Unfortunately for t0zzle, making the same mistake Disaster did. That does mean that t0zzle's going to have to come back, play another fortress, and then go try to find Wendy again. All right, 1, 2, 2, 1. It looks like we've got Human and Stewie with the right answers here of 2s. t0zzle making the decision to grab that tail. I love that decision. Let the dry bones go ahead and get off the screen, and now flies underneath the level to go a lot quicker. So excellently done. And DisasterKatti finds himself in the fortress that DLP absolutely loves for some reason. I don't get it, but I think it's just because DLP is a masochist or something. But this is 7-2. This is World 7 Fortress 2, and it is disgusting. But Disaster so far making it look easy, and that is going to do it with a Starman to take him to the end. And then a fight with Boom Boom here in just one moment. Got a hot foot that is drunk and doesn't want to go home. Meanwhile, t0zzle making the pipe look easy as Wendy is now in her sights, and that is going to be the end of World 3 for t0zzle and into World 4 here momentarily. Not a fantastically long world, so hopefully that's something that t0zzle can blow through real quick. Oh, looks like that is going to open the way to avoid 2 levels. That is absolutely helpful, and Disaster is going to make good use of that. So it looks like we have a hammer in the inventory of DisasterKatti. Not a whole lot of places to play it yet, or anymore, so gonna go ahead and break that rock there to basically have a straight line to the castle. 1 coin ship and 1 level will be the breaker here. Hopefully that's Atlantis or something fun, and we'll come back to that. t0zzle now into World 4. Ooh, that is a fun one. I like it. So we've got a World 7 level here, and this one, unless you have a star, is intense to try to get through in the beginning. But t0zzle does, or I'm sorry, Disaster does find a star there, and will take the item route. Love that. The star just ran out. Get yourself an item here. It's a fire flower. That's a great one. Normally you find a hammer bro here, but now we have a DisasterKatti with a fire flower, and that's even better. So just gotta protect yourself from the chain chomp there, who is going home from work, and that will be the end of it. t0zzle now into the tanks again, the second form of the tanks, as we usually see in World 8, and that is going to be, actually I believe this is the first tank, I apologize, but that is going to be it for t0zzle in World 4, I do believe. DisasterKatti finishing off the coin ship in no time, and will be awarded a star for his efforts. So fantastic job. t0zzle with a Boomerang brother fight here in just a moment. Looks like a Seed brother and a Peewee for t0zzle's efforts. So excellently done there. Now Disaster making good use of that PCB here in his airship, and that will be the end of World 5 as we know it. So 1-1 coming out, a classic for t0zzle. Yes, I am the roller. I am the one who brought out this fiendish scene. You are welcome. DisasterKatti now finishing off World 5. Get your guesses in. World 1 and World 5 are the last 2 that we have here. And t0zzle cleaning up World 1-1 very nicely, despite a pretty gross enemy set. Still took care of that very well. So good job to t0zzle on that side, and DisasterKatti's finding out that Mega Man is all about that bass. Sorry, treble. Or bass, I suppose. I thought there was a joke there, then I said it, and that sounded really bad. So it's all about the bass. And World 5 is going to be up next. A fortress right off the bat. You love to see it if you're a player. That is absolutely going to build a bridge here. There has to be at least a fortress or a pipe on the left-hand side. And if you don't have that, obviously you can't get to the mainland, so that would be a soft lock on our players. But DisasterKatti going to be able to play the fortress right out the gate, get a bridge, and then we'll figure it out from there. t0zzle now working through and getting through that underground level, no issues at all, and we'll be moving on to the next stage, which I believe there's one more before the airship, so getting very close to finishing off World 4. Still moving along very well. Had a little bit of issue getting started up. Typically, I call that the warm-up. Race 2 is going to be all t0zzles. All right, Hammer Bros here, not Boomerang Brothers. Hammer Bros here is going to be nothing. Going to check that top right block, nothing there, and DisasterKatti finishing off another coin chip. So Katti finding a hammer, that is nice to see. With World 5 and World 1 yet, not anything that Katti will be able to use that on. And that lock there in front of the castle does mean that there's a fortress that needs to be played, but with a pipe that goes up and down, that should be pretty easy for Katti. Looks like t0zzle having a bit of issue with a fire brother in the water, but thankfully was able to get out of that no problem. And with a hammer, that does secure the World 2 hammer break for t0zzle here. So excellent there. Big Bertha trying to take out DisasterKatti. No go for him. Or for Big Bertha, I suppose. And t0zzle using a wing in 3-1. So not exactly what you'd like to see, but hey, you know, it could be worse. No door 3. Door 5, I think, could have probably worked. Actually, I think any of them could have worked, because you could have just flown underneath the tunnel, but if you go in the door, you obviously need to know where you're going. So a little bit of a different strategy, not usually one we use. DisasterKatti finding the fortress that t0zzle was hoping for with Fort Knox 7-1. We've had both the World 7 fortresses so far. Now we got to get World 8's fortress. Maybe even an Atlantis 7-5 in here. Those are some classic favorites. And with that blue fortress, the world stays the same. DisasterKatti does not have to worry about that blue lock anymore. And that, ooh, talking about it, we get one. We get 6-5 here, or 6-6, I believe. 6-6 is a disaster for DisasterKatti, if I'm going to be frankly honest. This is one that's primarily underwater, and as you can see, those bloopers and the exploding bloopers, I believe they're called, they're nasty. They're just straight up nasty. It's not something you really want to have to deal with. And DisasterKatti going here small is risky. I'm going to say it's risky. But he obviously knows something I don't know, so maybe he'll get through here without any issues at all. And it looks like he will. So very, very, very well done on his side. t0zzle now making her way into the World 4 airship. It's not the World 4 airship. In World 4. Making her way to the castle to find the World 2 airship, I believe. Or World 3. Maybe it's World 3. I don't remember. It's been a while. Forgive me. People in chat know a lot more about this than I do, so they can help here in just a moment. DisasterKatti looking for a 7-6 exit early. Looking for a little bit of a door strat here. Basically, you glitch through. You use the pixels, and the way that it works is the game doesn't know how to put you where it's supposed to, so it allows you to more or less shift through the wall. So you'll have a door glitch, and there you go. So DisasterKatti now able to slide all the way through. That prevents our runner from having to play the entirety of the level, and does speed him up quite a bit.
All right, I am back. I apologize. I had a phone call that I had to take. What did I miss? Looks like Katti has extended their lead a little bit.
We just found 6-6 on the side of DisasterKatti. We had Fort Knox, we've had World 7F2 come in. I did mention it was your favorite. I also said that I think you're crazy for liking it, but that's about where we are at this point. But hey, here we go, 7F2.
Yeah, if you can successfully pull off the P speed, it's a pretty fun port to do, but it's also P speed isn't the easiest thing to pull off either.
No, definitely not. But one of the really cool things is seeing it played like that when you're talking about the P-Speed strat. It's fantastic. It looks so good.
Yep. Even better in the speed run when it's consistent and somebody with the hammer suit, they just fly through it and basically killing everything in the fort along the way. It's very cool to watch.
Oh, absolutely. And what's really cool about that, if you've never seen it, you should go look at it. But after this, obviously, after the randomizer. So what's really cool about that is they have to throw hammers before the vacuum or the things are coming on. So you have to kill things before they actually got onto the screen.
Caddy went for the item here, which that was not the best play. Because even if it was a hammer or a cloud, it's really not going to save you that much time unless you get a really nasty level here. But even then, it's definitely much better play to just beat the fort regular. It'll break that lock, and then you'll save 2 levels. They're going to have to do this the long way now.
Yeah, from our perspective, we definitely do know that that's not going to be a concern really here for Disaster. 2 worlds ahead, moving very quickly, looking really good in this. Probably looking at about a 32, 33 minute exit to World 8. So doing really well, but obviously that's not something you want to see a lot of because you do have to play a couple of extra levels here, which will spend more time.
Very funny, Mustard. t0zzle doing a play in 7-8 that I typically like to do if you got a tail. It's a little slower, but just fly over that beginning gauntlet, especially if there's a lot of fire flowers or fire plants. Caddy thankfully didn't find any levels that are too bad in the way, but still, it's going to be a little bit of time that t0zzle's going to be able to make back if she recognizes that she can just play the fort and break the lock.
Absolutely, and with the rock break there, we'll basically play World 2 just as quickly as DisasterKatti did. So hopefully that time back does help. And DisasterKatti now see if he can go over the level here. Tries once, says no, I'm good, and it will now play through the level. Not a terribly hard level. If you can clip the wall there and jump over it, it does obviously make the level a lot quicker. But Disaster not able to get it, so we'll go ahead and opt to play it and not waste any more time.
Oh,
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, almost got nailed by the rocket cheat there.
Indeed, and DisasterKatti, do not worry. Nobody saw that. Don't worry about it at all. We're good.
Wow. The swag fanfare. The Tanuki statue Mario into a 5-up. You love to see it.
Absolutely. That's just swag in a nutshell. Fantastically done for DisasterKatti. A little bit showy, but you know, we're here for it. t0zzle trying to keep that P-Wing speed as quickly and as well as possible. Unfortunately, just not going to be enough. Does drop the P-Speed and the Tanuki suit, so we'll have to face the Boom Boom as a regular Super Mario, but that is quite alright, because Boom Boom is as vanilla as they come in this game. So 3 hits, you're out.
It looks like Caddy got a really nice fire kill over there on Larry. t0zzle's gonna get the free pipe check here and find her way to the sky. Kind of a nasty World 5 we got here. Gonna need yep, gonna need World 8 to really play some nasty tricks on Caddy for t0zzle to be able to make this one up, but neither of the runners know that, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm not sure I know that either at this point. Our runners may have to find that out very quickly, but 2 locks for DisasterKatti in that first fight, not going anywhere. And as Chibi Cage has already alluded to in the chat, we have bridges to Bowser guessing that we can do. Unfortunately, 4 is not an option, as we did see 2 locks already. So anywhere from 0, 1, or 2. Oh, DisasterKatti going ahead and taking a hammer, bro. Little preemptive, but we'll see if Disaster is able to hold on to that.
Ugh. What is that? There's a lock blocking a fort and a pipe. If I'm playing, I would have to say that's probably where I'm going to try to go, because the game tends to block areas that you need like that.
So this is actually looking like a very linear World 8, because that first pipe that Disaster came to in the lava lake is that pipe. So there's actually nothing there, but to your point, that fort on the other side, that absolutely could be something that Disaster needs. So right now, a very linear World 8, I think, that we're seeing from Disaster.
Right, there's that fort that's blocked by a lock, and then there's the navy up in the elbow, so definitely some chances for route divergence here. Katti had a pretty swag kill on the sun there. t0zzle making her way through probably the hardest level in the game, in my opinion, in Rando.
I would absolutely agree with that. Just for the sake of being underwater, that makes it hard.
Yeah.
And it looks like we've got t0zzle going through 6-6 no problem, but Disaster finding Bowser does have 2 bridges, so there's a very good chance all of these fortresses are going to have to be played, as well as find the icon for the tanks and see if that's a level or if that's a fortress. So a lot of exploration still on the play for Disaster.
Look at this trash 6-6 here. It's just awful. Somehow she makes it through. Lost both her power-ups, so gotta be a little careful here. Just take your time. It's really not worth it to die at this point of the level, and you gotta go back and do all that stuff again. Watch out for the fish. Here. There you go. Boss bass at the end, coming out of the pipe a lot of times. There he is.
Expertly played on the side of t0zzle, though. Very well done.
Oof. 2 bridges and a level. We gotta hope for, yeah, that fort's gonna be absolutely required, I'm pretty sure, but we'll see. Hopefully that last level is Atlantis. Then it would be oh! What? Katti going for, I believe that's called the Jesus clip, in a hammer suit. Not sure if they have another one, and nails it. First try, t0zzle nails 7-6 in about 2 or 3 tries. Let's go. Never seen the Jesus clip in a race before. That is incredible. Fantastic job by Katti.
That is unheard of. I too have never seen that in a run. How fantastic. Wow.
I've only seen maybe Stewie and Teeks go for it, like maybe once or twice, and didn't even come close to getting it, so that's very impressive.
Absolutely, and just the showmanship, I think, at this point. Disaster has been playing extremely well. I mean, 36 minutes, looking for Bowser at this point. We have World 8's Fortress, we called that earlier, and he already knows where the other tank is, so if this breaks the lock, he has to go play that other fortress in the black room. So, I mean, I'm here for it. Make it a really, really linear World 8. That really extends it out. It's going to be probably 5-10 minutes until Disaster is really able to get into Bowser's room. So, I'm here for it. I'm not going to lie. I'm here for it.
Yep, I think this certainly qualifies as a Growlwolf seed, 100%.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. These guys have been playing really well with it. And Disaster, all the swagmanship and everything, it's great. How comfortable do you have to feel to go for that leap of faith? It's incredible.
For me, not comfortable at all. And that was not the fort. Wow. What an 8. And we still don't know what that last level is.
And 7-9. I like to see that. But I'm very, I guess, confused as to why Disaster would play with the Hammer Brothers suit to begin with. There could be a possibility that Disaster just doesn't feel comfortable with Bowser, and in the hammer suit, so maybe that's why it is. But to play the hammer suit like that really is some gutsy calls to try to do something like that. But oh well.
Yeah, I mean, if they're planning on, I mean, you can't really plan for it, but if they're hoping to not take damage, I mean, that's the fastest way to get through the forts and the boom booms at the end. So I can sort of see the play, but at the same time, I don't know. They had several power-ups that they could have used, and probably going to give all that time back at the end now, unless they find another hammer suit, or I don't know.
Yeah.
t0zzle is coming up on 8. If they make the decision to go right for that tank, it could get really interesting.
Yeah, I am very interested to see that. I am not certain, based on Human Mustard's comment, I'm not certain that the Disaster checked the first level. So how awkward would this be if Disaster gets to that tank and realizes that, wait a second, I missed something. That's not a tank or a fortress, that's a level.
Oh yeah. I didn't see if they checked that first tank either.
Okay, Human's saying that it's not the right fort in the final screen. So I guess based on the movement or something, but oof. I'm still going to base it on that. If there's a possibility that is just a regular level when Disaster gets there, we've seen the tanks already. So it can't be one of those. It can't be one of those where they may or may not know if it's the Boomerang Brothers at the end. But Disaster has to do a lot to get there.
Yeah, 3 levels to get to that tank. The trick with the fake tank, you can't tell by entering a level. It has to be an icon that forces you into the level. So another tank, another Navy, or the Air Force. That's the only way to tell if it's the fake tank. So entering a level doesn't do it.
Okay, looks like t0zzle's going to answer this and does find the level. So good call. DisasterKatti now finding himself into 5-3, I want to say. And that is going to be interesting to see what happens here. t0zzle now figuring out the unfortunate news that this is going to be a long World 8.
To answer your question, Mustard, I am not wrong. That is 100% the case.
DLP throwing down the facts here, and t0zzle finding out what Disaster has already shown us, and that it's going to be a very long World 8. t0zzle not in a place to go for the leap of faith, so we'll go for the long way route that we expect to see on 5-2 here. Disaster now, with all the answers, has completed, I think, everything in World 8 at this point, and now we'll be chasing down Bowser. We'll see what we have here in just one moment. Here comes Atlantis, maybe?
Yeah, so they did 4 forts, at least 3 levels, now 4. Really, like, one of the only things they didn't play was the tank on the first screen and, like, another level or 2. What a terrible World 8.
I know, I love it.
And it's just the hand. Feels bad.
But that is the third that we've seen in this game, so that will do it for our hand stages. Now t0zzle just trying to do whatever she can to get back into this thing. DisasterKatti looking to slam the door shut. We'll see if Disaster is able to do that here momentarily.
Yeah, unfortunately, that tank that was the answer, that pretty much slammed the door right there, because you got to play 3 levels to get there. There's no way around it, so Katti could take probably 5 deaths at this point, and it's still not really going to matter just because of all the levels you have to play just to get to that tank. Well, there's 1. No power-ups now. 2.
Oh, that is interesting. And by blowing all of the stars and everything right before the last time Disaster went in, I mean, that's a gutsy call, I think.
Yep, they already had a Tanuki suit, or a tail, and they blew the anchor on that too, so they could have had a tail here.
Absolutely, and even a star, I mean, would be extremely helpful. You at least get through that first section. You don't have to worry about it. Rat Boy, that is what we call the commentator's curse, or the commentator's cure, I think as some say, because, we've done nothing wrong.
Oh boy. I mean, I said 5 deaths. It's gonna be more like 10 at this point. I mean, t0zzle has to go to the right tank. She's still gonna go and play that fort, and then she's got to play 3 levels and then the fort. So I mean, Katti is firmly still in the driver's seat, even if they die a couple more times. But
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll curse it. I don't care.
Absolutely, and I agree with Mustard. I think he'll still win regardless, and there's definitely items to choose from here. Looks like we're going to go bottom route this time. Top route, not good. But yeah, we would have needed a little bit more to go in favor of t0zzle. If we had locks could be broken by hammers, then, you know, t0zzle had that extra hammer. Boom, you hit that first fortress, you find the second one real quick, you're in the seat. But unfortunately, we're playing brackets, that's not going to happen, and Disaster's looking to shut the door here very soon.
Yep, should have it at this point. But this arena is a little harder to fight than the top route because t0zzle starts on your level, but Katti doesn't get trolled with any fireballs at all, so just gotta wait for 6 stomps, 5 stomps, and the game will be over here.
And as we did say before, this is a best of 3, so we will be rolling the next seed here soon. It is a 5-minute delay. That the runners did ask for that, so we wanted to make sure that we were mindful of who they or what they were doing and what they wanted. So it is a 5-minute delay. Wanted to make sure everybody was on board with that, and we will be rolling the next seed here in just 1 moment. So we'll try to get this action going for you as quickly as we can. And with that, I would like to present to you the winner of the first race, t0zzle getting beat by DisasterKatti. The official time is 44 minutes and 19 seconds, and right after that, t0zzle will go ahead and take a did not finish, as we will be moving into World 2, or World 2. We're moving into World 2 next. No, we're moving into the next race here in just a few moments, so grab your popcorn, grab your drinks, do what you gotta do, get your GGs in chat for DisasterKatti and t0zzle, who both played. To me, they played exceptionally well. I think they both absolutely did. t0zzle coming all the way back, fighting from 2 worlds down to get into World 8 before DisasterKatti was able to finish it off. So even though it was about a 9-10 minute World 8, that's very fantastically done. I expect great things in this next race.
Yep, absolutely. We're going to get the seeds roll up and get everything squared away, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes or so. So stay tuned. We'll be back.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Time for race 2.
Happy to meet you.
I don't have a clever punchline for that. It is time for race 2, though. Best of 3, as we talked about before. I'm Growlf, he's DLP. We're here watching t0zzle and DisasterKatti battle it out. t0zzle doing everything in her power to keep herself alive in the second one, whereas DisasterKatti just wanting to shut the door and move on to a clash of the finish runners, as True Hyper Mario has alluded to in the chat. So a big one here for both of our runners.
Yep, I don't know about you, but I always want more Mario 3 Rando in these races, so I'm pulling for t0zzle on this one. Hopefully she can even the score up so we get a race 3. Those are always very exciting. Get your guesses in chat for what world we're going to start with on Seed 2. Like I said, RWO until it happens. World 7 for me.
Love to see it. I am going to have to go with a World 3 start, go to the water, get some of that going. And honestly, that keeps World 3 a lot longer if you can't do that double rock break. So I'm here for it. More SMB3 Rando. I'm here for it. Let's go.
Yep, absolutely. We've let the runners go. Should be starting here in about any second now. Yeah, Katti played really well in that first seed. Didn't really make a lot of mistakes until the very end. Played pretty fast. routed decently well. So let's see if they can keep that up. And t0zzle's just got to step up a little bit, minimize the mistakes, and hopefully we can make this a close one.
Absolutely. We saw a couple things go really well for DisasterKatti. Looks like we've got vanilla world ores so far. And, oh, almost had a divergence there, but t0zzle looking like, no, let's go ahead and make the other decision here, the safer bet here, I think, and going ahead and opting to play the same level. We've got Disaster in. But, yeah, I mean, t0zzle played an extremely good race that last time. Love to see it.
Yeah.
All the way to World 8. In time for DisasterKatti to finish it off. So definitely a tighter one, I think, than it was in the beginning. And t0zzle just needs to really prevent the deaths here and get moving on at a really consistent pace. And I think we'll have ourselves a good match here.
Yep, not the easiest level to start with. The 1/6 beta here always has fire enemies as well. t0zzle is getting trolled by the enemy respawn here. It makes sense to go this route because you're going to play a fort that's in your path anyways. So you might as well just go this way and hopefully the fort after this breaks the lock. If not, you can easily go back and backtrack and you won't lose any time.
Absolutely. And this is one where it's 6 one way, half dozen the other. You've got one that's already in your route. You might as well play it. So, and that's going to be the right one. So, probably a World 1 Fortress. Very interesting start.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure the decision there to go for that with t0zzle.
It's like she's just gonna take a game over here.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing as well. I think this has just not been a great start, so let's go ahead and start over, try to mentally reset. Unfortunately, what that does mean is that Iggy is now up to play for DisasterKatti, and that's going to be World 2 here shortly. Team, chat, get your guesses in. Where are we going next? Let's go. I'm going to say World 3 still. We got to go there eventually.
Yep, since RWO is dead, I guess I'll go with VWO, so let's go with World 2. This beta level is one of those levels that it pays to just keep moving, almost like 5F2. Like, as soon as you stop, the fire enemies just sort of swarm you. Like, right here, you can just jump over everything. As long as you're off screen, the enemies can't damage you. So it pays to just keep jumping off screen just to get past them. And they won't damage you unless they're on screen.
Yeah, that's a great point. This was actually a beta level that Fred had built out and finished it off. It was actually in the original code of the game, but they took it and they actually finished the game. And unfortunately for a runner, sometimes, as you see, it does have a scary set of enemies, and that does make it hard for some players to get through. And unfortunately with that, you don't have the items. You don't have the comfort of your momentum, I think, is a huge factor. So unfortunate for t0zzle there, but hopefully she can break away from that. And 3 minutes is not a huge thing to come back from. So I'm still hopeful here. I think t0zzle has a chance. Let's get it done.
Yeah, I mean, Caddy is being a little indecisive on the routing here, so if they go in this third pipe and this is the answer, then t0zzle can make that gamble feeling behind and catch up a lot of time here. I mean, Caddy, this 7 is shaping up to not really have that great of a route to the end, at least at the beginning, so, you know, Caddy could take... Oh, look how big fish. Caddy could, you know, be taking this route and it could take her to that other toad house, and t0zzle could slip right back in this thing, so... She's not too far behind as long as she, you know, she got to take a little bit of a gamble here, but we'll see what she does when she gets there.
Absolutely. And I don't mind the idea of DisasterKatti for going all of these, but at some point, indecision is
There it
a
is.
problem.
There it is.
DisasterKatti finding out what doesn't want to be seen, and that is to the mushroom house. So that is one dead end down, and you're absolutely right. If t0zzle makes a good decision and sticks with it, that's going to be a big play. And now it does look like we're down to one route, because I do believe that middle route did take Disaster to the penthouse, as it's usually called. But yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see. There's gonna have to be some level split here though for Disaster.
Caddy's getting turned around here. I think they need to go past that that nipper stage, or this level. Ugh.
Oh, should have gone with the nippers.
Yeah. All right, t0zzle, this is your chance to make up basically almost all the time that you were down.
Absolutely. I love the idea here. Just play the level. Just play a level and get going. Those first 3 pipes, unfortunately, I think we're going to see the exact same decision out of t0zzle, but just play something, and you got a better chance of getting to the end here.
I mean,
I love it.
I think she's going to go the right way here, as long as the route Caddy's on isn't the correct one, but I think she's got a really good chance here to potentially take the lead.
Careful of that big boss bass. That could be a little unnerving if you come down and boss bass gets you there.
And she gets a cloud for her troubles. Big item.
And if this is the pipe, that is a huge swing in t0zzle's favor. So t0zzle, come on.
Well, that's the way you gotta go. Oh man, it's a really hard call to make there when you have a lot of pipes available to play that level and continue, but that's the way she's got to go. So if she figures it out quicker, if she turns around and doesn't play this level, then she'll still make up some time. Yeah, Caddy and 4F1. Avoiding the star, thankfully, because that's going to make it so they can't jump in the pipe. You can't enter a vertical pipe. She's making the same play as Caddy, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's one of those, you know it's going to happen. But sometimes it's nice to see that desperation play, because if it does pay off, that is huge. And with there only being 1 pipe on the end here, I mean, why not? And oh well.
Yep. She still deciphered the route a little faster than Caddy, so she's definitely making up time here. It's just a matter of how much. She has to go back in that first pipe, and what is she doing? She didn't check the pipe at that level. Yeah.
If she's going back and had already played that level, does that mean she used the cloud? Which it doesn't look like she has. So it looks like we've got a mushroom route here, and then we'll find that, go back, I'm sure. And now the play continues. So unfortunately, I don't know how much time she's actually going to be saving here.
Oh boy.
You gotta find the last world.
Caddy can sink. They have the right power up for this, but they can definitely. Well, never mind. Third try. Very well done.
Yeah, commentators cure there. I think no curse says DisasterKatti was able to get through it very quickly. t0zzle needs to make a decision here, and there's so much that's going wrong. I guess we're going to see the right side of this one as we go down to really what would be the continent Africa if we look at this like a world map.
Yep, she's got it now. Not a super difficult level here. I don't remember what level Caddy played, but I feel like it was faster than this one. And a mushroom for that nipper stage. So Caddy's going to be about 3 stages ahead at this, 3.5 stages ahead. But t0zzle does have that. Yeah, t0zzle does have that cloud in her back pocket. So if something nasty like Atlantis shows up, she'll make up that time, make up a ton of time there.
Absolutely, or even 5-3 is another one that's just so ridiculously long, and that's one just for benefit to get through. It takes the mental load off of you. It puts a little bit on, because obviously you have to complete that next stage or get into a pipe real quick or something, but I mean, a win's a win when you can get it.
Yep. That's right. Caddy, the other way it was 8-2, which they took a death on, so t0zzle definitely making up some time there.
You love to see it. I mean, we talk about the comeback stories and stuff. World 2 completed, and about 9:08 the message started for Disaster. So going to be interesting to see what happens here next for t0zzle and DisasterKatti. And of course, we've got the next world, which could be anywhere from 2 through 6. So a lot still to be played here. World 6 can be incredibly long, especially if t0zzle ends up finding a hammer or something, and it ends up becoming a really useful hammer, like for a free pipe or something even. But it's going to be interesting here to see what decisions happen to get t0zzle back into this.
Yep, unfortunately, she's not going to find a hammer because Well, it's not useful in this stage, first of all. And second of all, the second Nipper had a mushroom. I suppose if we didn't see what the World 7 item was, that could be a hammer, and Caddy didn't check it. But again, it's not going to be useful in this world. Caddy with a very good play of having a tail going into Fort Knox, so t0zzle needs to match that to not lose time.
Absolutely, and we did see where t0zzle does like to check, use a tail, and then go into the fortresses and such. So hopefully considers that here, and especially once you've seen it, you don't have to do it again. So that would definitely be a huge one in a Turbo World 4 for Disaster, it looks like.
Yep, free World 4. One, oh, t0zzle uses a tail here. That's not what you want to see. If this were me and I had a tail, I'd probably just take the intentional Cloud and Star. Wow. These players are really making me eat my words here. That's a very impressive clip of the tail. She got that in about 5 tries. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's fantastically done, and I love the decision for t0zzle there. I don't know if it was intentional or if it was just what's comfortable to her. But t0zzle there was going for the corner clip there. And I like that better than actually going into the doorway. So there's 2 ways to do that. You've got the outside corner where you first come to it, and then the one that's actually in that little L in the doorway itself. And if you can hit that first one, it seems like that one's a little bit easier for some of the things, especially for like the tail. And I don't know if that was a heads-up play by t0zzle. I'm going to assume it was, because that looked magnificent and definitely intentional.
She's going to save some time here, being able to fly over the mass. Going to save about 7 seconds or so, doing it the way that she's doing it.
And honestly, love to see that. A little bit of time wasted there. If she had hit that P-speed again, could have flown up and over and got to Ludwig. But honestly, she's here now, and Disaster, after a very quick World 4, is now into World 4. So, yeah, maybe a world behind, but not a whole lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, by the appearance, it seems like it's further than it actually is. I mean, World 4 is just a Hammer Brother and a fort.
The message started for DisasterKatti right at 9:08. Oh, looks like we've got another dead end from the pipes. So maybe a long way to go. Or a hammer. I think a hammer could actually be a play here.
I think Bowser's letter or the World 4 letter was another cloud, so Caddy now has 2. t0zzle has the potential to have 3 if she makes the same item plays.
And that can be big in whatever the random World 7 is. I mean, that's a lot of skipping you can do towards World 6, World 7. See if that comes back to play for him.
Yeah, I mean, some, Oh, what a play by t0zzle, like you said. Using a P-Wing. Saving just a little bit of time there, but, yeah, wow, very, very good.
That's a sigh of relief, I'm sure. That's absolutely a really good play. Not really one that you gain a lot of time on, but it's definitely one you don't lose time on, and that's extremely important here.
Mm-hmm.
So now we've got t0zzle being a little bit more adventurous, going after a couple of hammer bros here. Hopefully we get something good, because if we have a hammer come up...
Yes. Yes. You either need a hammer or you got to do this world the long way. There's no way around it. That's amazing. 3 Fort World 6. And you got to do it all unless you find a hammer. If you find a hammer, it's free.
I mean, I'm personally going to hope that we don't get one now at this point, because t0zzle can't do really anything different than Disaster's doing now. So, it's just going to be a long one. Oh, and an anchor on the hand. That's interesting.
If this is me, I'm playing both of these bros trying to get a hammer.
Well, it's not you, because Disaster said, nope, I'm out of here.
And you gotta play 7F2. Death here is critical for Caddy. They cannot take a death here.
I absolutely agree with that. And no power-up, just a 1-up mushroom for Disaster. I love the idea. I'm with you on this one. Play both those hammer bros. That's a lot quicker than having to go through 7F2, especially if you get a death here. Misstep into the lava, a thwomp here. Any of these things could go potentially bad for Disaster. It looks like he's going to be okay, though. And, I mean, anything can go wrong. And if it does, you're done.
Boom, boom, slide.
And Fortress again.
t0zzle has been playing the bros looking for items too, so she can get a hammer here that's gonna be pretty big. She got
Absolutely. I mean, that extra pipe is absolutely free, and it looks like Disaster trying to decide, do I go back? Well, no, you can't. You've already played a level, so that's another Fortress and a cloud to spin. Cloud to spin.
Oh! The anchor's a cloud too. That was 2 mistakes there, because you could have gone back and taken the free pipe to the end and skipped that fort, and then they used an anchor hoping for a power up, and it was a cloud. So if they die here, even this is not good. Fortunately, it's a pretty easy arena to fight Lemmy on.
Absolutely, but what's actually even more disappointing, it looks like we've got a cloud here now. So t0zzle swimming in clouds right now. That's very, very good for t0zzle over here. So 3 for her, and then depending on what the 2 Hammer Brothers have. But Disaster actually could not go back because he had clouded over that first level. So either way, he's playing a level.
Yep, that's right. So t0zzle has a nice opportunity here to make up some decent time, especially if she can get a hammer from one of these bros.
Right. And I love to see that. And I think that's absolutely the play. You figure out it's a free pipe, you find the hammer, you go do it. Play both Hammer Brothers in case there's a second one. Boom, you're done. You got it.
Hammer suit from the World 6 Toadstool letter as well. That's why I don't use an anchor. Like if I'm at a level or a fort where it's a potential that I can skip, then I'll use it. But if I'm at the end of the world or something, I typically don't, just for that very reason, because a lot of times it ends up being a cloud and then it just goes to waste. So t0zzle sees the end. I bet she plays both these bros trying to find a hammer.
I think you absolutely do, especially with this being a hand stage. What a great heads-up play. You blow through here real quick. You don't have to worry about it. Now you've got an anchor that she's going to find out pretty quickly is a cloud, I think. And that's, I mean, 4 clouds now on the side of t0zzle. That's a world.
Yep. Katti has 0 now.
Yeah, that is devastating, I think.
All right,
so
here we
t0zzle
go.
Go ahead and play in the first.
There's 2 power-ups in the arena. 2 power-ups here. In the middle and the top. Get it? Okay. Whew.
All right.
Katti finding this beta stage that is plays the same every time. Oof. This is a horrible arena for this Hammer Brother. For that very reason. No, go back and play. Oh, she didn't use the anchor. Good.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be very, very bad here. Just got to be patient here. Avoid and... Oh, one more time. There you go. There you go.
No hammer. Darn.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but that is a P-Wing and that is a music box. Unfortunately, the music box not really going to do anything. You're on a World 7. Yeah, I guess you could use it on World 5 now, I think, is probably your best option. t0zzle finding out you're supposed to do it from the other direction because the platform's not out there on the other side. But, yeah, I mean, I think World 5 here is the play for the music box. The P-Wing, wherever you don't feel comfortable, you got a couple items here now.
Yep. At this point, if it's safe to do so, you gotta start burning some of these clouds, because the seed is drawing closer and closer to the end. You don't really want them in World 8. You just gotta... As long as you use a cloud before the seed is over, it's never a bad play, unless you burn it for no reason.
Absolutely. Yeah, every item has to have a place. To me, World... Any of the worlds, frankly, there has to be a place for the item. So, for me, it's commentary. Obviously, it's easy, but that's my job, so I'm going to continue to do it. Is say where we think items should be, where they should go, things like that. And ultimately, I mean, the anchor at the end there, if you know that there's a chance that that could be an item that's really, really solid, to me, unless you have a second one or you have a really good place where no matter what it is, you can go ahead and use it, you know, protect yourself. You have to keep your items in check, or you're just going to be fighting everything with whatever you have from the last one. And in this case, it's Small Mario taking on Morton. So good luck.
Yep, Caddy's still playing really well, however their inventory is very dry at the moment, so...
Whereas t0zzle on the other side has 4 clouds, so usable items, yeah, it's definitely up there. I mean, you don't have the fire flowers, the mushrooms, the tails, the things like that. Okay, fine, whatever. But you do have a couple of items that are going to get you out of worlds super quick, and that is something that you can't replicate. I mean, that's as fast as Disaster can possibly run. That's 4 levels that t0zzle's not even going to have to check or enter.
Yep. Unfortunately, this World 2 is not that great of a place to use these clouds, because you have to play these forts right off the bat, because you don't know where the locks are. World 3, also not... it's not shaping up to be... This is trouble. Wow. Thankfully, they got that first kill. World 3 doesn't look like it's going to be that great of a place to use clouds either, so hoping for World 5 at this point. Here I would play the fort, cloud the level, play the other fort, take the pipe, and then cloud the last level to get through 2 super fast.
I absolutely agree, and obviously there's a lot of reasons for that. One, the fortress, you know it's going to be a fortress. You don't know which one. You know it's not going to be 7-2. You know it's not going to be 7-1. You know it's not going to be 8. You know a lot of things at this point. So yeah, you've got a better chance.
6-6. This is dangerous for Caddy. No clouds. Horrible gauntlet here.
Love to see it.
This is a ton of time that t0zzle can save here. There you go. Wow. What a turn of events.
Huge. And t0zzle not wasting any time with any swag clips or anything, is playing a good, clean game. I love to see this. This is really where we start to see people's strategy comes out. Yeah, we have the big strategy of run fast, obviously. But the ability to really idealize where you're going to use your items. Understand what your plan of action here is. I love the idea. Cloud this, go to the fortress. You know it's a fortress. It's a meta level, not a big deal. Meta level, whatever. It's not a big deal, but it is a time save. So now you're hoping and banking on 3 worlds having levels that you actually can and should avoid. So I don't know. It's a little bit of a risky call here, but t0zzle playing a little conservatively, I still love to see it.
Caddy's saying, forget 6-6. I'm going to play 2 levels and go the other way. That would have been really unfortunate if one of these levels were like Atlantis or 5-9, but they're both pretty quick levels to do, so I think that was probably the right call in the end. If you're not getting... I mean, they had no power-ups outside of a hammer suit to beat 6-6, and this... If I had to guess, the pipe that's being blocked by the lock is going to be the pipe that we want, but there could be 2 forts, and this route could be completely useless as well. So we'll have to see what happens.
That's probably the biggest thing that t0zzle needs to be concerned with the clouds. As you mentioned before, World 3 not a great place unless you know. So if we don't see a lock break here, I mean, t0zzle obviously not going to have this information, but the idea of going over to the right is probably not a bad one. So Disaster has to figure out what's next here. This may not be the right height yet.
Well, there's a hammer. And it is, of course, because the game knows.
Yep, I said something. It's like, haha, we're going to make you eat that.
Yeah. Alright, t0zzle. It's cloud time.
Yeah, I think this is a great place for it. You know you don't have to play that level if you don't have to. So, yeah, use it. I mean, you've got a cloud. Anchor might be a great option.
Yep, I mean, that's exactly the type of place that you would want to use an anchor. I mean, at this point, don't even bother with the bros. You got 4 clouds, you got a hammer, you got everything you could possibly want and need. Like, hammer's not even useful anymore, so, like, just forget the bros. Just get going.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I mean, you are, by and large, yeah, you're basically a world behind at this point, but you've got 7, which is going to be World 5. You've got World 8. You don't really have a place for clouds. I mean, at this point, I definitely think the play there was use your cloud, and then, okay, I was about to say, if she uses an anchor here, I'm going to lose it. But, you know, P-Wing, not a bad idea if you're not comfortable with the P-Speed strats. I like it.
Yep. I mean, clouds are completely useless in World 3 at this point.
Absolutely. I mean, unless you know exactly where you're going, which you can't. I mean, you can't know where you're going at this point. You've got to use the clouds where you can, t0zzle. Come on.
I think this is probably another mistake on Katti's part, because we've already seen a world with 3 forts. I don't think this World 5 can be more than 2 forts, and this tan fort is going to build the bridge, so this is... I think it's a time loss here.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with Disaster, because we've seen a couple of these plays more or less go in his favor, but what happens when it doesn't? So I absolutely agree. We got a bridge here. Okay.
Yep.
I guess short-term gain, long-term loss, but you know one of the fortresses is going to build a bridge, so why are you wasting your time? I guess if you get unlucky or whatever, but well, not my call.
t0zzle right now needs... Nice dodging. Needs several levels up top here, so she can use all the clouds before World 8. If it's only going to be, you know, one or 2 levels until the end, then Katti still has a huge advantage here. Of course, if the few levels that are in between are, you know, Atlantis, 7.5, 5.9, then she'll still make up some time, but... And she gets the bad news, like this, right here. That's exactly what t0zzle needed right there.
Absolutely, and looking for a monster she can jump out of this real quick with. Not a bad decision. I don't understand going back in. Why not use the cloud there? I mean, granted, you have to do a cloud and then come back. I think t0zzle wants to play this. I think the death there was an accident.
I mean, if you can get through this on your first try, this is definitely the right play to make. Like, you should do this over the other 2 levels, but... I mean, if you keep dying on the same level, then it's just... pointless.
Honestly, at this point, I would say use 2 clouds. You go cloud the first, you get the fortress, you cloud back, and you're going to see that there's a pipe open now. So you can jump to the other side, go through that pipe, see what happens. If nothing else, it at least takes you to the right side. But at this point, t0zzle's got too many clouds, I think, for where she is in this game. And if you get another one, forget about it.
Well, in World 5, she's going to be able to skip the entire top portion, and Katti has to play the entire top portion, so she still definitely has a ton of uses for these clouds, but she gets through 6-6 on that second try, and the first death was pretty quick, so she needs to...
stage up front first for Disaster, but to your point, with those 3 levels that are directly in front of the fortress, that's 3 clouds in my opinion. So it's still a good play, and t0zzle getting through 6-6 definitely not a problem.
Yep. She's gonna do World 3 fast. Oh, there's another death on Katti's side. She's gonna do World 3 faster than Katti, and then she really wants to make this close. She has to... you know, she'll check the pipe and see that it goes over to the other side, and then she just has to go in the tower. Like, don't bother with the fort. Yeah, I mean, she's going to be able to skip this entire top portion. She just can't die in the airship. So, doesn't appear like it's too close at the moment, but it's about to be. Nice movement by Katti, getting the end there without spawning the plant out of the pipe. Wrong airship for that, t0zzle. It's a World Air 6 airship you want to do that on. Oh! Caddy! My gosh. Taking the fall of shame. This is bad. You gotta wait that entire time. And then you gotta go down here where I have no clue how to do this spot fast. t0zzle in a whole bunch of trouble here. Look out. Nope. Burning the hammer suit, too. Don't use the anchor. Alright. Thought they fell again. Oh my goodness. Just take your time. There you go. Alright, t0zzle. Really gotta have a good fight here. Can't take any more deaths. Much better so far. One more. Of course, it's 5 hits. Nice. Very nice fight. Alright, here we go. What is t0zzle going to do? Oh. Oh, there goes the hammer suit. Game just not going Caddy's way at the moment. Giving them a lot of problems here. Let's see. Okay, so she's gonna check the pipe. Go back. Please don't play the fort. Nope. It's okay. Still gonna ultimately save time in this world. It's just how much is she gonna save? For this very reason, this is why some people tend to use a fort tracker, so they can pay attention to how many forts they've played, so they know if World 5 would have, you know, 1, 2, or 3 forts. Alright, 32-17. Caddy with the wand grab. t0zzle seeing the very bad news. Nope, you don't want a star. Because now you cannot enter a vertical pipe while Mario is doing the front flip. Alright, how many bridges, chat? Get your guesses in. I'm going to say 0, because it's always 0. And a 3-pipe Monty right off the bat. Going in the first pipe. Ugh. I don't know if that's necessarily what you want to see. Gonna go back and check this other easy access pipe. So we're seeing basically all our forts now. It's just a matter of what to play and how you get there. Gonna check the false tank, and that's 1-4, so that is not the way to go. Alright. Play one level, then it's cloud time. Do it. Do it and go for the mushroom house, even. Caddy, this is bad for t0zzle. She needs to really not take a death here. This is why, it's my theory that even if you have a hammer suit, you burn the hammer suit here. I mean, you use 2 clouds, you take a death, the race is basically over. So... I mean, what's worse, not having Hammer Suit for Bowser and losing 30 seconds, or, like, completely ending the race? Even in a race that's not necessarily close, like, or you didn't use a Cloud even, like, you want to use the Hammer Suit there, because you might lose 30 seconds, but again, like, if you're dying over and over to the same level, then you're not saving time at Bowser, so you might as well burn the Hammer Suit. But she's gonna get an even better power-up, the Frog Suit. I imagine she'll probably... Nope, I was gonna say burn some clouds here, but she's gonna play this final level. I would imagine Music Box and burn the last 2 clouds. Caddy making their way through World 8, found one of the correct forts. And an untimely death for t0zzle, unfortunately. No power-ups in this stage. Caddy needs one more fort. They know exactly where they need to go. They're going to play another one, and it's the Navy. We'll see if they go back and check check the bridge here, or we might be able to see if a lock breaks. t0zzle getting through the 1.5 beta. Let's see what happens on Caddy's end. Here comes the Cloud plays, I imagine. There you go. Good call, using the Hammer Suit. You can't take a death here, you just can't. So, it's okay to burn it. Caddy going back to check Bowser's Valley. And that's it. That is it. No power-ups again, though. Ugh. Of course it's a hand stage. Again. Same as last seed, so they're going to get an item here. How useful it's going to be is another question. And that's Cloud, so that is not helpful at all. Clouding into Bowser's Castle, you love to see it. I imagine they'll check the top route for the power-up. If it's a star, they'll probably go bottom and check for a power-up there. Oh, there's a death. Having all sorts of problems in Bowser's Keep today. But again, it's going to take, you know, at least 5 deaths for t0zzle to be able to make up this time. Gets through the disco and death too. Oh boy. Caddy really trying to make things interesting in both seats here. t0zzle managing to hang on to that Hammer Suit. If she can get all the way to the end, that's pretty huge. And it's a mushroom, so still going to go bottom route though and check. Well, never mind. They're going to do the Johnny Link clip, and this also takes you to the end, so they don't have to worry about any fireballs here. And no troll fireball, so 4 more stomps, and oh. Gotta be a little bit more towards the middle. t0zzle, unfortunately, going into the fake tank as well, and she doesn't want to burn her Hammer Suit, or she doesn't want to take the death and lose the Hammer Suit. Unfortunately, it's not really going to matter at this point. Get your GGs in chat for Caddy, who is going to finish in first place with a racetime.gg time of 39 minutes and 37 seconds. GG to Caddy. So I am joined by DisasterKatti, who completed the 2-game sweep. How you doing? How you feeling after these 2 seeds?
Pretty good. Good seeds. Nothing like extremely bad, except the 6-6 that I skipped by playing 2 levels. But otherwise, pretty good.
Yeah, I think with your power-up situation and everything, that was definitely the right call because, I mean, it was a pretty bad 6-6, and if you just keep dying in that, I mean, the 2 levels that you had to play weren't long at all, so that was definitely the right call to make, for sure.
It's one of the worst levels in Rando, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, easily. I used to think 7-5 was, but then I learned how to clip the bottom portion, and it became a lot less dangerous, but 6-6 is always just not a great great level to play. You seem to have a little bit of trouble in Bowser's Castle for both seeds. Were you just trying to make it interesting, or?
I'm not actually sure. I was just molding and trying to complete the level, but wasn't able to do it first try.
Yeah,
Hi.
we're also joined by t0zzle.
GG t0zzle.
Yep.
GG.
So both seeds, t0zzle, looks like you sort of got off to a slower start. Took a few deaths in the first levels of both seeds. The second seed, you had Caddy burned 2 clouds where you didn't have to. They used the anchor going into the World 6 airship, so that was useless. And you had 4 clouds going into World 5 for that second seed.
Yeah, I had a whole bunch of clouds. But yeah, I never, even if I need a power up, I never use my anchor unless it's a cloud possibility.
Yep. That's the same way.
But I didn't have much by way of power ups other than music boxes and clouds, though.
Yeah. Both of you were pretty short on power ups for the second seed, at least. In the first seed, I would like to point out that Caddy used their hammer suit well before World 8 and got to 5F2 and attempted the Jesus clip and got it first try, which is the first time I've ever seen that. So
What? With the hammer suit?
yeah.
Wow. That, you must have been feeling lucky. I think if they've got lotto tickets over there, I think it's about time to buy one. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I have practiced the Jesus clip pretty much since it's in the finish points tourney as a point.
Oh yeah, that's
So
funny. That's fun.
I felt comfy for going for it, and I got it. It was so hilarious to get it.
Nice one.
Yep, it was a pretty crazy moment. You both made me eat my words for several of the clips today, 7-6 in particular. I was saying this might be a place for t0zzle to catch up some time, maybe with a cloud, and then Caddy clipped it like second or third try. And then I said, well, t0zzle unfortunately used a tail here, and I think you clipped that with the tail in like 4 or 5 tries as well. So very good clips for both of you.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with the tail clip. I think I got it on my second time hitting the right pixel. It wasn't bad. I had a few warm-up shots and then we got her in.
Yeah.
I was glad you were watching actually for that one.
I have nightmares about 7-6 clip with the leaf because last time I did it in the tourney with the leaf, that timer ran out.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh
I was
no.
able to do it.
Yep. I do everything I can do to avoid clipping those levels with the tail because it's just miserable. I've had nightmares as well, thinking about losing big races to that.
Yeah, I didn't have any other power ups, so it was kind of like one of those things where I was like, well, got to commit to this working.
Yeah. At that point, that's such a slow level. It's probably second only to Atlantis, maybe 5.9. I'm not sure, but it seems like a very, very long level. So it's a good call to keep trying the clip, and you nailed it. So it's a good job.
Yeah, I think that was the highlight for me.
t0zzle, you're making up some pretty good time that second seed until you sort of lost track of Wendy in that fight and got yourself into a corner. So that was a little unfortunate, but
yeah, that was a little bad. I don't know. She's given me trouble lately, but I think my second attack was much better. I only let her get one ring out. I was like, "There, see, I told you, no more rings for you." But yeah, I've had troubles with non-heavy Wendy lately.
Yep, second fight was perfect. Wendy not heavy is infinitely more harder to me than when she is heavy. A little easier.
Way harder.
Yeah, especially when she's 5 hits, and if you let her go at all, she gets all the rings out, and then she starts jumping like a mad Koopa. And
yeah, it's hard in that one when it's not flat, because it's hard to like line up the timing for the jump when it's a regular jump when it's not flat. So like you have to like adjust your jump every single time, and then if you do it wrong, it's just it's over and out.
Yep. So moving forward, it looks like Katti, you are going to advance to the second round to play the number 1 seed, Jepezu, fellow countryman. I know you guys have raced a lot. How do you feel about that matchup?
I will lose 10-0. Yapetsu is so good at this game. I can't beat him. I have only beaten him like twice, and we have done like 30 plus traces. So no, I'm not gonna win Yapetsu, but well, anything can happen in a race, but it's like 0.01% chance to win Yapetsu.
I think your odds are a lot better than that. You played very well today, especially the first seed. You basically, cruised very nicely to the end. There weren't a whole lot of mistakes, and then I think the second seed you maybe got a little tilted, but yeah, I certainly think you have the ability to compete with Jepezu, so it should be a pretty good race. And then t0zzle, you are going down to the losers bracket. You're going to be playing the winner of Midi Guy and Macobra.
Oh, so that would be fun.
Light work for you, right?
Oh yeah, totally. I'm gonna make mincemeat of one of those two.
That's right. Put the angry face on and just go ham.
I'm gonna make the opposite move of everything that I would normally do when playing. That's what's gonna happen.
Don't give them. Don't.
Look, I'm throwing out all different strategies to try to get into their mind. Don't worry.
Yeah. Are you or are not? You never know.
Exactly. Who knows?
Yeah. But yeah, great race by the two of you. Yeah, do you guys have any further thoughts?
Just GG and good luck moving forward. I think you can take Jepezu down. I'm thinking positive thoughts for you.
GG. I don't have anything else to say.
Alrighty, well, I think we're past the. I think we've got to wait like 5 minutes after we log off here for you to end your streams because of the delay. So just hang on for a little while after. That way we get the full interview on stream, and or I don't know how that works, but anyways, that's gonna do it for us today. I believe there is a race tomorrow. Let me just check the time on that.
I'm seeing it as there's Sunday, October 1st at 3 p.m.
Sunday, October 1st at 3 p.m. Is that Midi Guy and Macobra?
Yep.
All right. So Midi Guy versus Macobra. Sunday, October 1st at 3 p.m.
It's gonna be a good one.
Yep. Two very good racers. Macobra, a former champion, several-time champion, and Mitty Guy has been a semifinalist in the tournament the last 2 years. Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty good race. So be sure you come back and check that out. And then we're gonna have more Mario 3 scattered throughout the week. Once the first round is finished, I think that might.
Wednesday, October 4th at 5 p.m. We also have Pro A 007 versus glutamic acid.
Yep. There you go. I'm glad you're around because it would have taken me forever to look that up.
I got you.
But anyways, Growlwolf had to step away, so we'll gonna get out of here. Thanks guys for the runs and Speedgaming for hosting Speedgaming Live, and for everyone, I'm DLP316. We will see you next time.
Take care, everybody.
Yep. Bye.